So did you know that there are many hospitals in this country that have special wards for motorcycle accident victims? Yes, that is just how high the rate of accidents are in this country. And I'm not just talking about border accidents. I'm talking about motorcyclists in general. In fact, just a few weeks ago, I was passing through a certain road. It's a black spot with bends and steep slopes. So as I was approaching this particular point, I saw a bit of traffic, and upon reaching there, I realized that an accident had just occurred. A motorbike and a saloon car had collided on that bend. It was such a bad and a bloody sight. The two people who were riding on the motorbike were seriously injured, head and leg injuries to be specific. Now, what shocked me even more is that the very following day, I learned that two people, a father and a son, had died on that exact spot. They were on a motorbike and had collided with a vehicle. What I realized was that, yes, we cannot deny the fact that some vehicles have this very bad tendency of driving recklessly and pushing bikers off the roads. But again, some of these injuries and deaths would have been avoided or reduced if only these people on the motorbikes had the proper riding gear. In fact, many deaths occur due to serious head injuries. Why is this? Simply because some riders just don't use helmets and other important riding gear. It's just way too dangerous. In fact, an accident may not even be severe. It may just be minor, but due to the impact with which you as the rider hit the tarmac with your head is what causes these very serious injuries and even deaths. I hope you are getting my point. Safety comes first, and it matters to every motorcyclist out there, be it a boda rider, an adventure rider, a racer, a long distance rider, etc. I once did a long distance ride about 360 kilometers. I was on the pillion, and it was just shocking to see how oncoming vehicles were pushing us off the highway. I don't know if it's a case of despising bikers, because the moment they see a bike coming the opposite direction, they will get into your lane to overtake another vehicle and will push you off the road, and that's how some of these accidents occur. It doesn't even matter if you have a big bike. In fact, a few years ago, there's a lady who was hit by a car, yet she was riding a Honda Goldwing, which is a very huge bike with some road presence. But that didn't matter. So safety applies to all, and that's what we will be discussing in today's episode. What do you need to have, especially as a new rider? What kind of helmet is right for you? Which kind of gloves, and so much more? We will be discussing all that. So please stay tuned. And also, if you find this content helpful, do consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars and bikes. Welcome to IKEV Auto Reviews. So what are the most important safety gear for motorcyclists? Definitely a helmet has to be the first one. As we all know, head injuries can be fatal. You can break an arm or a leg, but after a few months of healing, you can be back on the road riding. But if you break your skull, there are higher chances that you may have some extreme injuries that may permanently interfere with your ability to ride again, or worse still, you may even lose your life due to brain damage or some other serious head complications. So let's talk about the different kind of helmets available, their advantages and disadvantages, as well as which particular one you should go for depending on the kind of rider you are. So the three main helmets are a full face helmet, the open face helmet, and the modular helmet. There are many other types of helmets, but these are the three main ones. The others are mostly variations of these three main. So beginning with the full face helmet, this is a one-piece helmet, and it's the most common and the safest in the sense that it covers the entire head. It protects the rider from the weather elements, be it strong winds, rain, stones, or even insects. In terms of safety, it's the best. When you compare it to an open face helmet, especially those without a visor, that open face helmet does not fully protect you against things like insects, strong winds, and rains. You can imagine riding at a speed of around 100 kilometers per hour with an open face helmet, then an insect suddenly gets into your eye. It could lead to some serious eye problems or even blindness. So that's one of the advantages of a full face helmet. Even in the event of an accident, being that it's a one piece helmet, your head will be well protected. It's not like a modular helmet that some parts may break and end up leaving parts of your head or face exposed. This full face helmet will fully protect your head. That said, it still has a few disadvantages. The first one being that it has a limited field of view. Yes, you have the side mirrors, but due to this limited field of view, you may find that you at times have to turn your head to check what is on your blind spot. So that's a disadvantage to keep in mind. The other disadvantage is that at times it may be difficult to hear exactly what's happening in your surrounding, even if you need to make a quick communication with your pillion passenger or even a driver in traffic. It can be a bit difficult to pick out what someone is trying to say or hear something important. The other disadvantage is that in hot weather, it can at times feel a bit hot and even slightly uncomfortable, especially on long rides. It may be an issue to some and an issue to others. Apart from those few cons, this is a safe helmet, and its advantages definitely outweigh its disadvantages. The second type is the open face helmet that tends to prioritize on convenience but compromises on safety. Now, this helmet has the advantage of being lighter. It also has a wider field of view. You may not have to turn too much to see what's in your blind spot. Then it also enables you as the rider to hear what's going on in your surrounding more easily. You could even communicate with your pillion passenger more easily compared to if you have the full face helmet. Another convenience feature is that due to its design and a larger opening for the face, is that you can even sip a drink while on the go. Now, on to its disadvantages. The main one is the compromise on safety. A large part of your face is exposed, and this means that you can get some serious injuries depending on how you land on the tarmac. Assuming you land chin first on the tarmac, what does that mean? You may break your jaw, your teeth may shatter due to the hard impact, you may even end up biting your tongue due to that impact. So it really depends on how you land. If you land on the side of your head, you will get some form of protection from the helmet. But if you land face down or with your chin, then there will be no protection at all. Another disadvantage is that if that open face helmet has no visor, then you will be exposed to the weather elements such as the strong winds, rain, and there may even be the risk of insects entering your eyes. So safety wise, the open face helmet is not the best. On to the last type, the modular helmet. It's a type that was designed to strike a balance between a full face and an open face helmet. It has the convenience of an open face, but also tries to achieve the safety of a full face helmet. But in actual sense, it doesn't do that well safety wise. Why is this so? This helmet has hinges that are known to fail due to continued usage when lifting up the lower part or even the visor. Depending on the quality, some can fail even within 1 year. Now, if it can fail due to continued usage, think of this. What can happen in the event of an accident? It will end up breaking, especially the lower part plus the visor, and leaving your face and chin exposed. Something else is that it's a bit heavier due to the many components and hinges. And speaking of hinges, they also occupy a bit of space, and consequently this leads to a reduced field of view. So as you can see, it's a convenient helmet but not so safe. So this is what I would recommend. If you are a long distance rider, then the full face helmet is the best. It's the safest. It may not be the most convenient, but it's safe, and safety definitely outweighs convenience. On the other hand, if you tend to ride for short distances at low speeds, then you can either opt for the open face or modular helmet. They will offer you more convenience with a bit of safety. Open face and modular helmets will adequately protect you even in the unfortunate event of a low speed, low impact accident. If it's highway, high speed riding or long distance riding, then full face helmet is your safest bet. Now, depending on the quality and type of helmet, expect to part with anywhere between 1200 to around 30,000 shillings. Those made of carbon fiber are very expensive because they are very hard yet also very light. The other very important safety gear are riding boots. Boots mostly protect you from breaking your toes and ankles, especially in the event that the bike falls on one of your legs. Those boots, especially the higher quality ones, are designed to be a bit rigid so as to restrict ankle motion. So when you fall, your ankle won't twist or move so easily. And by the way, there are different types of boots. There are the full height boots and even the shorter ones. But for beginners, it's normally advisable to just get the full height ones, because as a beginner, chances of you dropping the bike and breaking your legs are quite high. How much should you expect to pay for a pair of riding boots? Depending on the type and quality, you can pay anywhere between 2,500 or lower to around 15,000 shillings for those made of leather. The other important gear are knee and elbow pads. These are mostly used by sports bikers who tend to ride at very high speeds. They are important even for other riders, but if you don't prefer them, then you can go down the path of a full riding gear suit, which normally are padded on the chest, shoulders, elbows, and knees. So they will offer you some good protection, though the knee pads, elbow pads, and shoulder guards are specifically designed and dedicated to offer even better protection. So if you're into racing, go for them. But if you just tend to do a bit of long distance occasionally with no excessive speeding and frequent short distances, then a full riding suit will work just fine. I've seen riding suits going for around 10,000, 13,000 shillings depending on the quality. Lastly, gloves are also very important because they provide that extra grip, especially when it's raining. So chances of your hands slipping are significantly reduced. Then most importantly, they protect your fingers against injuries in the unfortunate event of an accident. Some gloves have rollers which are designed to protect your wrist against serious injuries and fractures. So what happens is that depending on how you land on the road, let's say you land with your wrist, these sliders will prevent your wrist from absorbing all that impact and will instead let your wrist slide, thereby preventing those serious injuries. In terms of the price, you can expect to pay from as low as 500 shillings for the basic ones to around 4,000 shillings or even more for high quality ones that are made of leather and also have rollers. These safety gear are not cheap, but they can make a whole lot of difference between life and death. They can protect you against life-threatening injuries. So please be careful. We only live once. Accidents can at times be inevitable, but if you have the right proper gear, then you may survive and live to ride another day. And please, to those who drive, respect every road user, be it a pedestrian or a rider. You don't have to push a rider off the highway. It's not necessary. Just be patient, wait till the road ahead is clear, then make your overtaking maneuver. So many of these accidents on our roads are due to negligence and reckless driving and riding. Let's all look out for one another on our roads. I hope this has been helpful. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments section. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. That's it for today's episode. Stay safe, ride and drive safe, and see you in the next one. But before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.